Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Compassion and Courage, Conversations in Healthcare. This is the podcast that teaches compassionate communication, provides perspective, and inspires resilience. I'm your host, Marcus Engel, and with me, as frequently happens in the studio, is Marveline, aka The Hotness. Hi, babe.
You have so many points
So
every time you call me
many
that.
points, so many points.
Such a good husband.
I know, it'd be nice if I could turn husband points into delta points, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would probably be pretty
frequent
cool.
flyer miles, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, play the points game. So we recently, one of the things that I think Marveline and I do really well together is analyzation and reflection and maybe even philosophizing on top of that. We had, I'm saying we, but really she, witnessed a story from an acquaintance that took place this weekend, and I was not in the room when the story was told, so I heard it secondhand. So I'm going to ask, or third, maybe that's third or fourth hand. I'm not really sure how many hands it took until it got to my ears. But of course, I had my interpretation of what I heard. I want to ask Marveline to share her interpretation of the story that we heard from our friend, and then maybe we can circle back around to what can we learn from this story, because it was one that was, at least for me, a little troubling. And I'm sure for people who have gone through some of the issues that our friend has gone through, it might have been troubling too. So let me just throw everything to you, and you can tell the story the way it happened.
Ooh, I love when you throw anything to me.
Yep, like anvils, like in a
Um.
Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Well, and it is not at all a funny story. We have someone we love who went into the hospital for surgery. And as you know, if you've had surgery, you go to pre-op. And one of the you see physicians that you've never seen before, and you're only going to see for that short amount of time. And she was telling us that while she was there, this doctor came in and he said, so, she was there for hysterectomy. He said, so, you're shutting down the baby making machine, huh? And she said, it
Nothing. She
nearly
said nothing.
crushed her.
Right.
Because she said, what I wanted to say to him is, you have no idea what I have been through. I've had round after round of IVF treatment. I finally have one child, and I would love more children, but for my health, my doctor wants me to have a hysterectomy. I'm not here for fun. And she said, I didn't say anything. I was just so tired, and just knowing I can't explain that all to him. There's no way he can feel the pain that this procedure's causing me. And
the emotional pain, not to mention the physical pain, right?
exactly. And, the doctor didn't seem to have any ill intent at all. He was trying to comfort her probably before surgery. He just missed the mark greatly.
That's where, of course, while we're mulling this over in our heads and between ourselves, my first thought of compassion is I would have wanted to grab our friend and hug her and say, I bet he has no idea how callous that came off to you, right?
Correct.
I would want to tell her that I have empathy for the pain that must have cost her. And then I sit there thinking, well, okay, I can have empathy for her, but I would also be a little bit aggravated at the doctor. But I can't be aggravated at the doctor because he was trying. He was trying. When you go in for surgery, and I know this all too well, as you do too.
Me too.
It is such a nerve-wracking time. And you, like you said, you only spend a little bit of time with some of these healthcare providers before you go into what is quite possibly one of the most frightening experiences of many people's lives, right? Going under the knife is an extremely scary and sometimes traumatic experience for patients like moi. So, how does it feel to have a doctor be lighthearted with you? Sometimes when doctors have been lighthearted with me, I have so appreciated it. I've so
Correct. Me too.
appreciated it. And there's other times when I thought, okay, that kind of fell on us. It fell flat. It just fell flat. And I have compassion for everyone involved in this situation. And I also have compassion for, I guess, myself here, because I've stepped in it many times. I've said the wrong thing in trying to make connection. There's times that many people have said something to me in trying to make a connection over my blindness or the dog, etc., that has really ended up kind of being offensive. They didn't want to be offensive, right?
No.
There was no malintent, but that's where we get to. And to become more more mindful of what our words can say and do to another person, maybe we just need to spend a little bit more time listening, actively listening, paying attention, and devoting some of that attention to what is the other person currently going through. When we have that kind of compassion, when we have that intention and that perspective, why, that's what we're trying to do in this whole podcast, right?
I was going to say, I believe it was a compassionate communication error. And he, again, wanted to make connection and relax her before surgery, which I usually appreciate. I want to be relaxed before surgery. I want to feel like I know you and you got me. You're going to take care of me back there. I think of all the times we do this in real life too. When we're not healthcare providers in such a, tenuous area. I've had it happen to me, and my mind is going crazy with all the times I've done it to someone accidentally. They come and say, hey, I'm going through this, or I just got this call from the doctor and I'm really worried, or, my child's doing this. And before long, I've turned it around to, hey, don't worry, my neighbor had that and it's going to be fine.
And
Now,
you start
not
pouring
that exactly,
sunshine and
hopefully.
rainbows on things, or fixes.
Fixes, man.
Yeah.
Just, rub some dirt in it and it'll be okay. Almost. We tend to do that sometimes accidentally. And I think that one of the first mistakes this physician made, and that we can all make with our family and friends, is we don't listen before we jump in and start fixing or correcting or giving our 2 cents. And stopping to just listen when someone tells you about anything can really help you avoid that pitfall often, and being willing to just listen. People sometimes need this up and down cycle of emotion before they're ready to hear that it happened to their mom and they're fine too. Intention is to comfort, but it only means now I have nobody to talk to.
Right. It can end up becoming something that isolates, I suppose, someone that they feel like they don't have a person to talk to about things, because the response wasn't compassionate. The response was prescriptive. You go do this.
Yeah,
I prescribe
that's
you
happened.
this. And because we're kind of in Western society, and maybe because I'm a male in Western society, and we know that males in Western society tend to reduce and dismiss problems instead of spending time actually listening and absorbing and engaging, we tend to reduce the problem and dismiss it. We say, it's not that big a deal. Forget about it. That's really not compassion.
No, it's
That's
not.
not compassion.
And, something you see on social media quite frequently is if someone posts anything, if they choose to post something like, my child has an earache, say, 9 out of 10 of the comments are going to be, well, put this drop in it, or
have
do
you
this.
tried this?
It goes straight to fixing it when really they know what to do. They've seen their doctor. It's all good. They might just want you to go, oh man, that stinks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We'll
the
be
kid
thinking
hurts.
about you.
Yeah.
We'll be praying for you. You've got our comfort, our support. We're here if you need us. Instead of the 20,000 crazy things
About
they
the
get
over-the-counter
told
medicine
to do.
or the homeopathic cures.
And
right.
I love homeopathic cures.
I didn't say anything about
I
your
know.
homeopathic
I'm
cures.
just saying, I love them. But I'm not just going to start telling people what to do with them. Hopefully, not that I've never done it. And that's the thing. I know I have fallen short in this area, and it has really made me commit to being more present from the beginning and decide, wait, is this person really, are they here for an answer? Or are they just here because they need a safe space to be vulnerable for their own mental health? And in these days, we need to provide safe spaces for the people that we love.
Well, thank you for being my safe space. And thank you all for spending some of your time and hopefully a place that is safe here where we are. We try to walk the walk of practicing the definition of compassion as non-judgmental awareness.
Yes, and if you've had an encounter like this with a physician or a healthcare provider of any sort, drop us in the comments. We'd really love to read your story and learn more about what's happening, good and bad, with healthcare.
Yeah. Thanks for remembering that the dialogue that we have here, it can be participated in, right?
That's
we can
right.
be participated in.
Talk back to us.
Talk back to us. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being part of this episode of Compassion and Courage, Conversations in Healthcare. I'm your host, Marcus Engel. This is The Hotness, Marveline Engel.
All righty.
All right. Bye-bye, y'all. Thanks for being with us. See you next time.